you very much.
We have one. Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, that's going to go over.
Thank you.
Cheese?
Oh, the whole thing?
They're just ignoring me.
I look forward to that every year.
We have a lively crowd here this morning. Don't we? Okay, good morning. Let's call this meeting to order. Today's June 12th, 2014. It's 9 a.m. And this is the Beaches of Fort Myers and Sanibel Tourist Development Council. This meeting is now called to order. And please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. And may I have roll call, please?
Commissioner Larry Kiker.
Here.
Renee Afforded.
Here.
Kevin Ruane. Fran Myers.
Here.
Forrest Banks. Pamela Cronin. Tony Lappy.
Here.
Colleen DePasquale.
Here.
Robert Wells. Joseph Mergalo.
Here.
Jeff Webb.
Here.
Forrest Banks. Pamela Cronin. Kevin Ruane. And Rob Wells are excused.
Do we have a forum? Okay, we have a form. Thank you very much. First thing on the order of business is approval for the meeting minutes from May 8th.
So moved.
Do we have a motion by Renee and a second by Fran? Is there any discussion, any objections? Motion passes. And at this point in time, we'd like to open up the floor for public comment. So if there's anybody here that'd like to make public comment, followed by municipalities. And please come on up. And you get to be first. Thank you very much for coming. If you could state your name for the record, please.
Sharon McAllister. I'm really here on behalf of not only Art Fest Fort Myers, but the arts organizations of Lee County to express our appreciation for the support that is continually provided by the Tourist and Development Council and by the staff of the VCB being available to talk with us when we need guidance and advice and places to go. We know that we know that you know that the arts are a quality of life issue, as well as, maybe more importantly, an economic driver in our community. The last study done in 2010 with 2,083 full-time job equivalents and $83 million worth of economic impact on our county. That study is being done again by the Americans for the Arts in 2015, and we will have a 5-year period to compare back to 2010, which was arguably not one of Lee County's finer years. So we're anxious to see that information. And also to convey the message that the arts community and its leaders are some of the very creative people in our county, and we welcome the opportunity to be at the table for discussion of all the things that affect our county, whether it be economic development, tourism development, the sports world, and bring what both our organizations and our leaders have to contribute to that. So thank you again for your support.
Thank you very much. I believe we had a, yes. Yes, ma'am.
I'm Lisa Spitoni. I'm with the Edison and Ford Winter Estates, and I want to thank you all for your support of the Edison and Ford Winter Estates. We had some wonderful things going on this past month, and we have some wonderful things coming up. We were designated by the American Chemical Society as a National Historic Chemical Landmark, which is the only one in the state of Florida. All these folks from the American Chemical Society came down. They gave us a great plaque. We had a great celebration. And what this does is it makes us a true science center. We now are in development of some tours, some student tours, which are STEM oriented, which everyone knows STEM is a key word and a focus of the education system. So that landmark status really truly designates us as a science destination. We also just got notice that we received for the second time an award of excellence from TripAdvisor, and all of you are very familiar with what that means, and that press release will go out. We have a 14-page spread in Victorian Home magazine for this summer, which will be out soon, and next TDC meeting I'll give you all a copy. It's a national magazine on Victorian homes, and we also won the Sales and Marketing Chrysalis Award this year from the Greater Fort Myers Chamber and the VCB, which we are also very proud of. What we have coming up is this Sunday we have Father's Day. we are doing fish printing over at Pinchers at the Marina at Edison Ford from 1 to 3, and fathers are free all day at the Edison Ford. Hope you'll join us there. We are also, we've added on to the porch, to the museum with a porch, which is going to open up a lot of possibilities for events, for meetings, programs on the porch. We're going to have music, and that will be sometime in July, and you'll all get some invitations on that. And July 12th, Pure Naples is going to be starting to run naturalist tours from the marina at Edison Ford up to the river by the railroad. It's about an hour and 20-minute tour, and that kickoff and ribbon cutting will be July 12th. So again, I want to thank you all for your support of TDC. We are up 20% this month and 9% over last year. So we're very thrilled, and we attribute a lot of that to what you all do here. Thank you.
This is always my fun part. Don't you like this one? Here we
That's
go.
a nice thing to hear.
Love this one.
This is the good thing. My name is Jennifer Jennings. I'm the Executive Director at the Greater Pine Island Chamber of Commerce. First thing I'd like to say is we are down to 3 weeks. We will be going into our new building. We will finally be open in 3 weeks. It's been a long haul, but worth it. Everyone, what a great job from our community, also with our Board of Directors throughout the year, and it's greatly appreciated. We also at the Greater Pine Island Chamber of Commerce appreciate all of you, VCB, TDC, for supporting the Mango Mania, which is July 19th and 20th this year. And we are now proud to announce that next year's Mango Mania 2015 will be brought back to the island. It will be at Pineland Marina. So we're very proud of that. We found a place. And the Chamber is also working with Sarasota Conservation. They have set aside 20 acres for a facility out in St. James City for us to hold our events. So we've been working close with them. But we appreciate everything. And at this time, I'd like to introduce our new queen, Ms. Valerie Hedman. She is a local, and she'll tell you what she's all about. Thank you again.
Hello. How are you? It's a little weird, but okay. I'm actually local. I'm a true mango queen because I grow mangoes. We have 100 acres in Bokeelia. We have mangoes, livestock, palm trees, of course, and I actually make the jam. So if you like it, I'm on Thursday night underneath the bridge in the morning. I'm over there, so I get around. So. But yeah, does everybody have one? Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
But come on, see us. We should be. I've been told I'm doing a dance though, so you can come and point and laugh or cheer me on or whatever. So, but it should be a lot of fun. So come on down to Mango Mania.
What are the furry strawberries?
Those are lychees. You crack them open,
okay.
and they have a nut in them. So
Don't
they're
even
from
outside.
fruit. Those actually are from Pine Island too. Those are from Fruit Escapes down the Bokeelia end. So yeah, everything's from Pine Island. So
Nice. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you very much. Fran, I'll trade you 2 lychees for a cookie.
Good morning, Matt Johnson with the Harborside Events Center. I didn't bring gifts, but no, I'm
Big mistake, Matt.
I know. I've learned my lesson. The next time I will have some sort of gift for you. I'm here on behalf of the Conference and Convention Council to express our appreciation for your continued support of our marketing efforts for Harborside, but also for the River District and the wonderful events we do. We were able to roll out a new website this year, myriverddistrict.com, to help support not only the event center but the downtown events. And we've, believe it or not, it's been a year since last time we were here, and I was starting new, but we've had a wonderful year, and I know we're going to be hearing quite a bit more about some of the things coming in the future with Harborside that we're very excited about. So, again, on behalf of the CCC and the city, thank you for your continued support.
Very much. Is there anyone else that? Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
Good morning. Jennifer Berg with the Lester Marketing, but I'm representing Leoma Lovegrove. I have something at your places that I wanted to share with you. Had the update from Pine Island, so this is an extension of that update from Pine Island. Leoma was just featured, and the destination, Matt Lachey and Pine Island, was just featured in Studios Magazine nationwide. and she was really excited to find out that she was the cover. On page 100 to about a page 107, there's an extensive feature that you can read later, and it's on sale at Joann Fabrics and Michaels and Barnes & Nobles and many different places across the nation. So we're really excited about this. And I think I was here at Christmas time and told you a little bit about Bells. That's been very exciting. She's going to be working with them for at least another couple years. You're going to see a Christmas line coming out. There's a patriotic line now. And what's been most exciting about it is they've really embraced the idea of cross-promoting people, not just for us to send people to Bells across Florida, but for people to come to our destination. And she's had more visitors than ever to Matlacha, to her gallery, which is, of course, helping others as well in that area. So I just wanted to come on behalf of Leoma and thank you for all that you've done, because obviously these things don't happen overnight. They happen because of the millions of people that you bring here every year that happen to wander into her gallery too. So we're really appreciative of that. And the other thing I wanted to share with you, she also just received an Award of Excellence for TripAdvisor. And also wanted to invite you, if you're here at the River District on July 4th, she'll be painting flags up at the Franklin shops, which will then go to the Pride and Patriotism that the school district is doing. One last thing, I'm going to be working with the VCB and some of their team on cross promotion. Leoma goes every year for the past 10 years to Giverny, France, and was recently the first American to be able to board the exact replica of Monet's floating studio, and was able to paint a board for a few hours. They've invited her to exhibit in October at Bonnard's home, and then in May do a class there. So some exciting things happening, and that's a great tourist destination, France, so we hope that there'll be some cross-promotion between France and here, so more to come on that, but a lot of exciting things happening, and just wanted to give you a quick update. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Hi there, Will Prather. I'm a member of the Arts and Attractions Committee. I want to thank you very much for now celebrating our 10th year of the Arts and Attractions Funding Program. It's been a great example of a public-private partnership. It's all about enhancing the visitors' experience when they come here to Southwest Florida. And just want to thank you very much for your consideration of funding this year's request. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Okay, we're going to close public comment, and is there anyone here from a municipality that would like to address the board? Morning, Judy.
Good morning. My name is Judy Zamama. I'm the city manager of Sanibel, for the record. Just two quick comments. I know you excused our mayor, but Mayor Wayne chairs the Florida Municipal Insurance Trust for the entire state of Florida, and today's their annual meeting, so unfortunately he's in Fort Lauderdale, but hopefully he'll bring back better insurance rates for all the cities who fund through that collaborative. But the other thing I wanted to mention, I know you're always seeing some great numbers about the 2013-14 visitation, but I wanted to give you the numbers from vehicles across the causeway, which of course we have an advantage on Sanibel. Sometimes it's a disadvantage of only having one way on and off, but it gives us a good opportunity to look at some numbers. But the numbers for January were up 2%, February 4%, March 3%, April 5.3%, which may not sound like a lot of 5.3, but to put it in perspective of the Sanibel Causeway, 5.3% is 15,283 additional cars of visitors coming across. So that is a significant, and for those of you who live on Sanibel or come over or work, you know that traffic this year was up on Sanibel. But just in April alone, we saw over 15,000 additional vehicles. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else from a municipality? Thank you. And we're going to close comment. And with that, I'm going to turn the meeting over to Tamara.
Good morning. Thank you very much. Well, let's start with the bed tax report. And I'm not sure I've ever reported a number as large as this one, 29.4% increase for the month of April. But I think there's a couple of things that we need to do to put that in context. One, everybody knows it was a great April, but Easter was in March last year, so we were sort of rebounding to an April Easter. And also last year, we were pretty much flat in April. So while all the other months we've seen this year were an up over and up the previous year, this is kind of an up over a fairly flat April in 2013. So I'm not
I'm not minimizing the good news. It's absolutely fabulous news for the community, and you hear those in the numbers you heard Edison Ford and you heard Judy's numbers. I think it's very reflective of what's going on out there. I will say it's important to note that most of this growth, while there was some growth in occupancy, and you'll see when we flip to the STAR report, most of this growth has been in rate, as the hoteliers have been talking about. So with that, let's go to the STAR report. Occupancy for the month of April was up 4.6%, ADR up 15%, so that combined RevPAR 20% increase. Again, not exactly aligned with the bed tax collection, but pretty darn close when you look at those numbers. For the year, occupancy up 5.3%, ADR up 9.8%, and the RevPAR up 15.7%. Clearly, we are having a very good beginning of 2014. And from what I'm hearing from the hoteliers, we did our monthly or quarterly roundtables with the GMs recently. We anticipate that we're going to have a good summer. The combination of demand at our coastal properties and some of our sporting events, thanks to Jeff and his efforts, are going to deliver a very good summer, especially with our favorite event, NARCH, in July. Quickly, let's do airport traffic. Airport traffic up 6.1% for the month of April. So again, numbers are very good at the airport as well. And then let's flip to those key indicators. For the month, inquiries to the site up 164%. Leads up 161%, and partner referrals up 47%. For the year-to-date, total inquiries down about 28%, leads up 70%, and partner referrals up 50%. So very good sound numbers. We're very pleased. Again, when we look at those inquiries, it's about how we allocate the dollars and drive activity to the website. And we've been a lot more focused on the second half of the year than we have been on the first half of the year based on what we anticipated was coming. So with that, I'm going to, just before I call up Laura and Clayton to give the marketing report, I want to announce another intern. We now have a full cadre of interns. Lauren Blascom. Just step forward so they can see you. Lauren is a student at FGCU. She is pursuing a degree in resort and hospitality management with a minor in business, and she is going to work with our Marcom team. So she'll be providing support to staff on marketing campaigns, promotions, developing and coordinating visits by travel trade professionals. So we're very excited to have Lauren on board. And, now I'm going to embarrass you, Lauren. Her dad works for Parks and Recreation. Some of us know him, and especially those that work on the sports side probably have dealt with Keith. So it's really nice to have not only a super talented intern, but one that's sort of family grown. Thanks for being here, Lauren. And now, Clayton, you're going to go first, right? I think so. All right, so we've got Clayton Reed from MMGY, and then Clayton will be followed up by Laura, and Katie will join her as well. So.
Okay, good morning. I'll add an unscientific statistic for you. On my flight, I came down this week through Atlanta, and my pilot said to me that as we were getting ready to take off, our flight today to Fort Myers is full, as all of our flights are now, which I thought was great. I would point out the number, you saw inquiries down a little bit in the dashboard for the month. That's intentional. We've actually moved some digital dollars back in the summer because we've seen the strength. So we've actually moved some marketing dollars back a little bit so we could hold our powder, as it were, for a little later in the season. So I'm not concerned at all about that. No. In fact, the numbers continue to be very good. I believe that April is going to be, the rest of the year is going to be an incredibly good year based on all the initial indicators we're seeing. Thank you for having me. I wanted to use this opportunity to talk a little bit about, as we're seeing such great results in 2014, how we're starting to think about 2015 and the way we build on the success we're having this year so we can move into 2015. And I thought you might be interested in how we're looking at that. As you know, we do a lot of research. We look at third parties, DPA, which is now called DRI. We look at that data. We have our own proprietary data. I've shared with this group in the past some of the proprietary research we've done just for Lee County. So we're constantly looking at things that help guide where we want to go with our marketing efforts. And I'm going to get into that in a little bit, just in a moment. But what's been very rewarding for our company is the way collaboration happens in this community. The idea that the VCB is really the center point of what happens in the industry, the way the metrics are parsed, the way the feedback comes to the industry, and then our ability to take that, the research, the things we do, industry trends, and bring that all together into a concerted marketing effort. Probably for me, I've worked with destinations all around the world for over 20 years. This is one of my most rewarding experiences. And I think a lot of it comes from the talent of the staff, but also the willingness of the industry. How many people are engaged in this community has really been terrific, and I think the results are a testament to that. So as we talk about 2015, taking the performance indicators we're seeing in 14 and tweaking those into 15 is what is important for us. So we start with, obviously, the things you most care about, those tangible outcomes, bed tax, overall tax collections, the Smith travel data, visitation, things like bridge counts and airport arrivals. We want to look at those tangible outcomes, but at the same time, we're looking constantly at the marketing performance indicators. Some of those things Tam shared, social engagement, content engagement, the way in which our digital impressions are driving. I'm going to come back to that in a minute and talk about how we think about it. But this idea of taking what we're seeing in 14, improving upon it, and making sure 15 is a build year. And just as an example, when we see that demand is so good in the early part of summer, taking marketing dollars and moving them back in the budget year, which is what I explained why some of our inquiries down right now in April, because we want to move those dollars based on the performance indicators we're seeing. And that's an important part of the way the VCB and MMGY staff work. So working into 2015 and the plan itself, there are really 4 component parts to that. The creative piece, that which we're taking the brand and evolving the campaign, tweaking the message points, making sure the narrative is continuing to be consistent and relevant. The media piece itself, analyzing the investments we're making, what the performance is against those investments, and amplifying it, making it better as we go. We look at all the different channels, as you've seen me talk about in the past, that affect travelers and the investments we're making. PR, so earned media we can generate. How are we supplementing what we're doing with paid media in public relations and earned media? And then social. I'm going to come back and talk about social in a minute, but this whole idea of the way in which we're propagating content through people's social networks is increasingly important, and how we're thinking about that. So the process itself, I told Lisa I was going to use some Thomas Edison quotes today. I like to do that, and so we'll do that by piece. So research. Discontent is the first necessity of progress, right? So we're never happy. Let's make sure we continue to do better. I think Edison, there were times when he slept 1 or 2 hours a night. I heard you when I was over there that he would hold ball bearings in his hand, and if he started to fall asleep, the ball bearings would drop and it would wake him up, and he could start working again. So discontent is the first necessity of progress. I think I shared with this group last time I was with you that traveler sentiment is at historic highs. Demand intent. This is a chart that goes back 7 years and looks at intent to travel, and you can see it's now spiked well above where it was at its peak before we went into a travel recession. We're seeing strength across the board in our research for leisure demand, commercial demand, meaning specific corporate transient demand, and meetings demand. That bodes very well. That's why you are seeing rate growth around some more compression around occupancy, and we believe that will continue for the foreseeable future. Another thing that's happening in travel is customer satisfaction is rising, which is actually anathema to what we typically see. When demand picks up and more people are traveling, we tend to see travel satisfaction go down. Planes are full, hotels are more full, they're paying higher rates, restaurants are busier, it's harder to get good service. But in fact, in our studies, we're seeing mostly sentiment satisfaction is going up, which is really, I think, bodes well for us and, again, tells us that there's more scale of growth. I want to go through a couple misperceptions, some of the things we think about as we're planning towards 2015. Here's the first one. A couple of years ago, I was at a Focusrite conference, and somebody stood up and said, advertising is going to be a thing of the past. All the money we do is going to be in digital, and all the money is going to be spent around transactions and booking engines. Well, our research tells us that's exactly not the case. And this is in your deck, so you may not be able to see it as well on the screen, but we do very specific research on a quarterly basis that looks at the things that influence people's travel behavior. What are the things, where are the information sources that travelers use to make decisions? And you can see across this continuum, and this is the 5 main parts of travel process, from idea and inspiration all the way through to purchase. The things that are influencing people is very much an integrated collaboration of message. It's not all digital. It's very much in offline environments, out-of-home environments, interpersonal relationships. So a lot of people made the mistake several years ago of going all in on digital and forgetting that we have to create an integrated message, a narrative across all channels. And that's an important part of the way we think about marketing this destination. Another misperception. People think that travel behaviors are entrenched and we all kind of know how people travel. For example, last time I was with you, I think I told you, you may not remember, but the group that is now using bricks and mortar travel agents at a higher rate than everyone else is millennials. That's not something commonly understood. Millennials tend to travel farther to places they've never been before, and they're inexperienced travelers, so they're using travel agents at a higher rate. Here's another one that this is very important to the way we think about marketing. Anybody want to take a guess at what the fastest growing reason people aren't traveling? Those who say they aren't traveling, what the primary reason is? It's time, Jeff. And a lot of people think it's still about the economy, that it's too expensive to travel, or I'm not making as much money, or I'm not as confident, or the only indicator going up as a deterrent to travel right now, and again, the landscape is people want to travel more, but the only deterrent going up is I don't have as much time as I used to. So we have to think about that in terms of marketing narrative and the way we want to engage our customers. Here's another one. People suddenly think social is the only way in which people want to communicate their likes and dislikes, and that it's all free. I think I shared with you last time, all of the social communities are now Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, etc., are all moving to paid environments. It used to be that was all free. You could post content in your social environments. People could see it for free. The big players are now pushing the free content down the page and forcing you to pay for it. So it's no longer free. And also, when we polled our travelers just last quarter, they told us that only 28% of the time are they really sharing their true beliefs about their travel behaviors in social environments. So 82% of the time, they're still sharing it in other ways. And this goes to why it's very important that we actively pursue our brand. It's not just having a discussion in social channels, it's creating a narrative that's consistent. And all those channels I showed you on that slide earlier, making sure we're telling the Fort Myers Beaches, Fort Myers Sanibel story in all those channels, right? So once we've done all this research and begin to understand what we're doing from the third parties, the disparate parties we use, we want to make those actionable insights. These are a few things we've pulled out of our current research looking at people who have an intent to come to our community. What is important to them from a marketing standpoint? And these are things I think that are good for us to know, but also for our industry to know as they're doing their own marketing programs. They want to see email correspondence, and they're more responsive to those when it's relevant to what they want to do. Our visitors tend to want to use email more often, and I'm going to show you an example of that in a minute. They want content. Justin on our team here in Fort Myers does a lot of work with content. Laura's going to show you some of the video he shot and some things we're doing from a content standpoint. But our visitor wants to see more rich content on our website, in our emails, in our digital marketing. They want to see what the experience is like from a content standpoint. So we know that's important from a marketing standpoint. And then those who are engaging with us on websites want to do it in a responsive environment. For the first time this year, more people are consuming web content on tablets or smartphones than they are on their desktop. Incredibly important for us to understand. And the way in which people are consuming content on a tablet is far different than the way they consume it on a smartphone. Smartphones tend to be more geolocation oriented, they tend to be more transaction oriented, where tablets tend to more mirror a desktop environment, but in a way that's different. People want to interact with the content in a different way. So those are three very important things we're thinking about as we begin to build that 2015 plan, and that comes to create. I hope it's okay that I use an Edison quote with the word hell in it, but this is his quote, right? So we're just trying to accomplish something here, right? Let's make sure we take this research and apply it. So I mentioned email just a moment ago. We're doing a lot with email. We're doing welcome emails when people show that they're coming. We do emails around specific interests and niches, the things they want to do when they're in the community, and we do monthly newsletters that propagate content out about what's going on in the community. And we bring industry into that, and we do a lot of thinking about the content we want to use in those areas. We're also doing a lot with video, this beautiful Awaken video that the VCB created, and being able to repurpose that. You see a couple of the networks we're using there to propagate that content. But not only are we showing the video, but we're asking people who consume that video to come to our website, whether it be to see our guide or learn more about our destination. So taking that video and using it as a way to get people engaged in our product, in our community, in our content. We're doing a lot with digital media placements in what we call programmatic or native ways. This is an example of a Miami Herald ad where we've got some content kind of inside an article, thus the term native, And when they click on it, we're then serving up relevant video content about our destination. And that's a very important way in which we can strategically place our own content into people's everyday readership or everyday content consumption. Deployment, the value of an idea lies in the meaning of it, right? So selecting channels around deployment, making sure we're effective in the way we distribute our message. Even in the co-op program, helping our partners work within their budget and deploy that content appropriately. Then making sure we measure the results. Are we paying it off? And I'm going to come back to that in just a minute. I'm very proud of the work we've done collectively on the co-op program. So the idea now is that our partners can use the website to opt into programs we're creating. We're trying to create programs at all different levels and all different budgets so that people can actively use the power of the VCB and the power of their own marketing budget. And then that brings me to measurement. So being able to talk just a little bit about how we're approaching measurement and how that informs our 2015 plan. Okay? And we look at it around, again, research, create, deploy, and then what are the desired results we want. We've shared some of those results today. But I want to have a quick discussion about clicks versus conversion. So a lot of us focus on how many clicks we have out of a marketing campaign or to our website, whether it's industry or our own branded platform. And I think it's important to ask the question, who gets paid for clicks? We don't. Yahoo gets paid for clicks. Google gets paid for clicks. The advertisers get paid for clicks. What we care about is conversion. Taking somebody who's clicked into our content and making sure they're booking, planning a visit, coming to our community, right? So I want to make sure when we talk about metrics, we focus on the things that are the most important. This is an example of how many clicks we got from a specific placement. And thinking about it's a pretty small percentage typically. You know, if we spend $1,000, we might get a small dot percentage of clicks. But focusing less on that and more on, all right, what happened with those clicks, to me is the most important thing. So sometimes we pay a little bit more for what that click cost us, but we do that because we know that it's somebody who's more relevant or more likely to book into our community. There are a lot of advertising suppliers to us who say, I'll give you lots and lots of clicks, and here's how much it's going to cost. We're much more interested in saying, give us relevant clicks. Give us people who, it may cost us a little more to get them to our content, but we know they're going to have a higher propensity to book. So we tend to look less at clicks and more at what did that dollar generate in revenue. And we spend a lot of time saying, and this is a real-world example where we spent $1,000 with a co-op partner. For every dollar we spent, they received $11.40 in revenue, converted revenue. And so we're focusing more and more on those kinds of results with our co-op partners and the way in which we're looking at our own marketing. And Laura's going to share some examples of some of that work we're doing. So back to measurement. If you look at our email programs, we have an open rate right now on our email programs of 21%, which is extremely high, well above the industry average. This year alone already, we've added 44,000 new people to our subscriber database through the email programs we're doing. More people we can engage on an ongoing basis. The video I showed you earlier, 700,000 plus views of that Awaken video, which is, again, an interaction rate at higher than we would typically see. The digital marketing we're doing, we're seeing not only a cost per interaction lower than we budgeted, but we're seeing an average interaction time that's almost 40% higher than average. And again, I say that's about the content and the quality of what we can talk about with this community. So people are consuming that at a very high rate. I'm almost done. A couple insights I want to share before I leave. The things I think we need to focus on from a marketing standpoint, continuing to build out quality content. Justin is, as you know, a videographer and a photographer. He does a lot of our content for us here locally. We can do that and add it to our website, put it in our digital marketing, and our customers, based on our research, are telling us, I want more of that. We talked about TripAdvisor a couple times today, and this whole idea of reputation management. TripAdvisor is now the #1 most influential resource in the hotel industry. Self-proclaimed, but I believe it. They're surpassing every other OTA now in terms of their influence on hotel bookings. So this idea of reputation management and understanding what reviews do to us and how we can control that and shape it is very, very important. Not only for the brand of the beaches in Fort Myers and Sanibel, but also for our industry. And understanding that reputation management and the reviews that people write about us are extremely important for our visitors. More for our visitors than visitors to other destinations. This idea of a website that is responsive to multiple devices. We need to make sure not only is our web content either adaptive to mobile and tablet or responsive to mobile and tablet, but we need to make sure emails we send, digital promotions we do, read well in mobile environments. If we don't do that, 50% of the people who are engaging us will not be able to engage the content the way we want them to. And the research tells us that. And then the last item, we talk a lot in our strategic planning sessions. We talk as a group about the younger visitor. We do very well with Gen Y and with matures, Gen X and matures. We are also now seeing in our research that younger visitors are showing a high intent to want to travel to our community. And I'm going to end with that slide because I think that's very good news for us. I think we can continue to bank on mature travelers who know this community and love this community, but we're seeing younger new travelers wanting to come here. And we're pivoting some of our marketing around that. And I think that's very important. I don't have any questions. I'd be glad to get off. Laura? There you are.
I think the most important thing, and I think you said this a couple of times, but I just want to add, this isn't just about how we market. This is for you to digest and think about in your marketing campaigns too. The information applies across the board. You need to be thinking about tablets and mobile and how it affects your business. And I know it's tough. I mean, I recognize that there's, every day it's something new that you need to change the way you do, but it is very important to your, who you're speaking to and how you're speaking to them. So.
My research team sent along with me an infographic that I put on your desk for you that talks about mobile and the influence of mobile and tablet on travel. So I'll leave that in
Quick question, and I haven't seen previous surveys. How concerned should we be about boomers' numbers and more not wanting to come to Lee County than want to come to Lee County?
That's a good question. That number is reflective of people who intend to come here versus people who are not intending to come here. So it doesn't concern me very much. When we look at the research, we see still very high demand for our community. Also remember that you have to be a little bit more affluent to come to a lot of the parts of the mature travelers who want to come to this community, whereas younger travelers don't necessarily want to stay in those expensive lodging and want to stay in other parts of the country, other parts of the state. So price is less of an issue for that group, where you're going to get discounted by a lot of older travelers who can't afford it. And I think that's okay too. We want to attract special people, and we want to attract people who pay the highest rates and stay in those countries. But I am not concerned about it.
Clayton, before you, I was just thinking, you were talking, I found it very interesting about the clicks and the response. Measurement really is very difficult on some of those, isn't it? And how do you, like that one, I think, is so many clicks yielded $11 per click or something. How do you measure that? You can't really grab people as they're checking into a place and start quizzing them.
Right. So we do some tracking that allows us to add data on fashion prices. So we will use books. So we'll what I think is important about measurement is that we're looking at results. For a long time, a lot of people made a lot of money this standard by all the site. So you're like, just give people a reason to come to their site. We moved away from that. We're more focused on spending maybe a little bit more to attract someone who knows their level of confidence. There's a big difference between attracting someone with a game on and someone who's shown us a behavior over time online and travel to destinations like our destination and have the wherewithal to stay where we want to come. You want to spend a little bit more money because there's quality in a lot of time. And what are the times that we track and use? In fact, we'll be very focused on it on a weekly basis based on the kind of response that we see from the videos.
So lots of good news. I'm Laura Shimolowski, and with me today is Katie Meckley, my colleague. And now let's see how it all looks. So for spring, you'll see some of the usual suspects, some new things. I'd like to specifically point out the streaming media we're doing with Awaken. I don't know that we've ever received so much fan mail for what can be considered advertising we put out there. It's nice to hear that people are enjoying it. And again, a vast number of total impressions. Our summer campaign, as we previewed last time, we are saving people by the shell. We are still doing our summer insert, which is something our partners love and which is co-opted on the back, in addition to our regular inserts in Fort Lauderdale, Miami, Orlando, and Tampa. We're doing the villages. strong and hard this year. You may have seen this vehicle around. The rest of the state is seeing a lot more than you do. With the vehicle and with Lauren and Winter, our amazing interns. They will be all over the state of Florida this summer saving people with the Shell, with shelling bags, with gifts, with reminding them that their summer will be great if they make sure they visit here. As Clayton was saying, engagement continues to be really solid as we really take the time to develop content that people are interested in, and we are over 10 seconds over what is considered the industry benchmark for engagement. And I'm going to pass over to Katie, who's going to talk a little bit about digital and social and how that looks.
As part of our summer sweepstakes, or our summer promotion, Saved by the Shell, we've been doing a sweepstakes on our website. We've had over 23,000 giveaways or entries for our giveaways already so far. We're only partway through with over 11,000 grand prize entries, which we're really excited about, and this will run through the rest of the summer, so we're only partway there. These were the numbers taken at the halfway point. Another huge component of it is our Twitter campaign that we're doing. It's a surprise and delight campaign, which we're really excited about. This is the first surprise and delight campaign we've done. It's Saved by the Shell, all coordinating. And what we're doing is we are proactively going out on Twitter and finding people who are saying, it's snowing again, it's cold, it's rainy, I need a vacation, it's summer, why am I still up north, why am I not at the beach? And we are surprising them and delighting them. So we are actually personally responding to their posts. And we're doing this in 3 phases. The first phase was just over a month long, and we are giving them digital gifts. So if somebody said, I'm stuck at the office all day, I wish I was at the beach, I'm over this, we would send them a desktop wallpaper or a link to a playlist of all beach songs or an animated GIF or a video that we've created that's all around the destination. The second phase, which we're currently in right now, we're actually giving out hard gifts and gift certificates. So we're giving out Saved by the Shell kits, which have the shirts that are in front of you in it, as well as Frisbees and sunglasses and all branded items. But we're also giving away gift certificates. We're giving away to different attractions. We've actually given away, somebody tweeted to us and said, I wish I could come, but I can't afford a total plane ticket. So we gave them a $100 gift certificate to our plane ticket to the destination. So they've ranged from hard items to tangible items to get them to the destination. And we've done it in a few ways. We've proactively gone out and found people. So this is an example of somebody who tweeted using snow in April as their hashtag. And we went and tweeted back to them and engaged them in conversation, and we gave them an item. We gave, in this case, an animated GIF. So we went out and found them, and we're doing that with all sorts of people. This is an example of, we put up a tweet that said, can't believe, or tell us why you should be in Florida right now. Tell us why you should be Saved by the Shell. And they respond to us using the hashtag. So we gave them items. I believe some of these got Saved by the Shell kits, some got the gift certificates. We're actually giving out these cute little manatee infusers. They look like manatees, and they're tea infusers. So all things related to the destination. We're trying to get creative, but we are trying to find things for them that relate to what they're tweeting to us. And then this is one of our favorite ones. This lady was actually here on vacation and was engaging with our Twitter handle while she was here. And she was at Doc Ford's eating lunch, and she was tweeting to us, and we were tweeting back with her, and we actually called Doc Ford's and bought her lunch while she was there. So that was a really cool one, and it got her all excited and her boyfriend all excited, and they were tweeting and posting pictures, and that's the picture she tweeted after she got her gift certificate. So it's been a really great campaign. We're averaging right now about 20,000 daily impressions and interactions, so it's we're definitely staying busy with this, and it's a great campaign. We've done 362 posts using the hashtag. At 3/4 of the way through, we had over 2 million impressions, and what I find so amazing about that is we did not promote this on Facebook until 2 weeks ago. So we went over a month and a half with no promotion on Facebook because the goal was to surprise and delight them. So that many impressions, almost all on Twitter, we're really excited with. And then we have almost 35,000 average daily impressions. So it's been a great campaign, and we're really excited to do it as a big part of our overall summer campaign.
We're really lucky to have Katie and the social team from MMGY work not only with the enthusiasm that she obviously has, but also I just want to remind everyone that they do social media meetups for partners, for your staff, for local businesses to help navigate this world and show best practices and do it in a practicum that really gets people working. So want to plug that right now. You're welcome. Thank you. Okay. Now a little bragging. Shelley Cranton, Francesca Donlin from our team. This was several years in the making, thanks to Shelley. This is only the second year this happened. We hosted a Hobie event, which included 15 journalists from the very best elite outdoor fishing outdoor publications, kayaking and fishing and sports, including Sport Fishing, Florida Sportsman, Kayak Angler. The editor of Guy Harvey actually said last year when he ran this article, it was the most viewed article Guy Harvey Publications had all year, and he expected this one to be even greater. Outdoor Life, they, thanks to great partners who supplied accommodations, food and beverage, they had a time that's going to be impossible to beat, so we expect them back. And here is, thank you, Amanda.
Kayak fishing is one of the fastest growing sports on Captiva Island. We're so pleased and excited to welcome the Hobie Pro staff and outdoor writers from across the country who were here this week to experience the amazing fishing we have to offer. Our targeted species would be trout, redfish, snook, and tarpon. Captiva and Sanibel are known for their world-class shelling, their white sand beaches, and their tremendous beauty. Sanibel and Captiva are very preserved. It's one of the most beautiful places you can bring your family, bring your kayak, bring your fishing pole to experience the beauty that is Captiva Island and Sanibel. So if you need a vacation, if you need a getaway, if you need to find a place where you can think, Captiva and Sanibel Islands is the perfect place for you because it's quiet, it's beautiful, it's natural, and you can find more about it at www.fortmyersanibel.com.
Well done, ladies. That video, of course, is just a clip of video that will go out across the universe. And thank God we all found a place we could think. Our own Lee Rose was on a Visit Florida media mission where he spoke to journalists and editors from AAA Motorist, Pittsburgh Tribune, Cleveland Plain Dealer, Akron. Lee covered the whole Midwest. We also hosted, with Visit Florida, a group of Chinese journalists. And I have to say to Fran Belasco and Francesca Donlin again, this crew fell in love with the destination, much more so than Orlando and Miami, and we're still getting love letters from them. So we expect lots of great coverage in a really important emerging market. We partnered with Colgate's on a regatta in New York City down the Hudson. And that's how they look here. The Chicago Mural Project. So when we were talking about promotions, you may remember that Visit Florida last year wrapped the CTA trains in Chicago. We were looking for something with a little more leverage. To Clayton's point about bringing the highest earning people to spend the most money and stay longer, we understand the importance of strategic partnerships and accessing not only their databases and their PR presence, but also everything they bring to the team. This time, we have just solidified a partnership with Expo Chicago, Northern Trust, and the Museum of Contemporary Art to launch Chicago's Art Week. We'll bring down a Chicago artist to experience our destination, to be inspired, as great minds have done throughout the history of our destination, to return and do a mural that is inspired by the beaches of Fort Myers and Sanibel. That will be going up in September. We are also very pleased to remind you that the Island Hopper Songwriters Festival is moving forward. Especially pleased to announce we have just confirmed Dean Dillon. You might know Dean has written 20 number ones for George Strait, 50 songs for George Strait, but has also written for Tim McGraw, Kenny Chesney, and loads other. Justin did this great video. Oh, thanks, Amanda. Sorry.
You know, the songwriter thing is much more understated, but much more original.
Standing down on Main Street across from Mr. Blues, my fitted leather jacket, my weather brogan shoes.
I think a lot of it's the stories of how the songs were written. It's very intriguing to people.
No, really, I really got tired of saying, do you want pepperoni with that? That's what you know. So, that's the truth.
People come from everywhere down here, and they can just walk into any place and hear anybody sing at any given moment.
Lots of different venues going all the time, you know, in different parts of the town. If you really want to know a songwriter, what they're all about, and what their music's about, it's a great way to listen.
There's a certain authenticity about having the writer of the song sing the song.
The songwriter's take on the song. You know what I mean? Like we've heard the artist version on the radio, but when you hear the songwriter's version, you're hearing it in its rawest form.
And then realizing that this is the person that created this song. And when that moment happens, it's truly magical.
I'm Dean Dillon, and I've written for guys like Kenny Chesney, George Strait, Toby Keith, Alabama, Wayne Newton, and the list goes on.
Yeah, I don't answer. She don't call.
All right, and more announcements to come on that, but we're thrilled. We hope everybody comes out and hears Dean. And have to say, the very prestigious Smitty Award given for the Google Glass campaign. Congratulations to all involved with that, and thanks to all our partners who helped with that. And Awaken wins another one, this for Reagan's PR Daily. Any questions for myself or Katie?
With that, we'll move on to the next area. We have a couple of special presentations, and the first being, we'd like to introduce Mike Thrasher from Captain Jack's Boat Tours.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Mike Thrasher from Captain Jack's Airboat Tours and Swamp Buggy Tours down in Everglades City in Ochopee, Florida. We also operate Wooten's airboat operation. I've got a video that I'd like to run first to show you. We'll pull that up. While they're loading that, I want to hand these out. wanted to give you a little flavor of what goes on down in the Everglades with this video. How many people have ever been in the Everglades? Have you not been down there? There's a lot of local people that never get down there. I think it's one of the hidden gems of South Florida with all the ecosystems that are there. And we get thousands of tourists that come there from all over the world as their primary destination. And it's something that Disney really can't replicate. I was told that Alexander Graham Bell had the first design for an airboat way back when he was doing all his design things and implementing ideas. But actually, first airboat ride started down in Everglades City. The guy that started it was out frog gigging, and they use these airboats to get out to gig frogs because the water's so shallow. And he was working on the side of the road on Highway 41, working on his motor, and about 3 or 4 days in a row, he kept having people driving by saying, "Hey, what are you doing there? What do you got? What kind of boat is that?" Finally, he decided, "Hey, I'll take you out for an airboat ride." Well, he did that 3 or 4 times for free. He got the idea, well, I think I'll start charging people a fee to take them out in the Everglades and do tours. So that's really what he did. But so that's how it started. Wootton's has been in business down in the Everglades since 1953. We own 253 acres of land. We're surrounded by the Big Cypress Sanctuary. We're the only airboat operation that has private tours that runs on our private land. These are grassland tours, as you can see by the video. Captain Jack's we own, which is in Everglades City, goes down the Barron Collier River and back into mangroves, and those tours are an hour long. Swamp Buggy Ride is also a hour long ride. So when you bring your family down there, it's very family orientated. We also have an animal sanctuary. We have 100 alligators in captivity. South Florida is the only location in North America where alligators and crocodiles actually live together in the same environment. Crocodiles prefer salt water where alligators prefer fresh water. And all of our boat captains that work at Wootton's and Captain Jack's are local people that are third and fourth generation tour guides. They give you a little tour information about the history of the area, the ecosystem, the environment. We do care about wildlife and things like that. So it's a good family tour, a good family operation. It's a great place to bring kids. If you stop there, it takes probably 2 or 3 hours to do everything. We do sell combination tickets. And we're not far from the Big Cypress Sanctuary where you can go on their boardwalk and then get their video presentation also. I did pass out some rack cards with information on Wootton's and Captain Jack's. This weekend we're having a Father's Day special, so if you bring your family or your father, we're giving free tickets away to every family that brings their father for an airboat ride. So I wanted to thank you for inviting me today, and hope you found this video and information informative. Thank you.
I will add in our stats, thanks for presenting, Mike. You know, you notice that almost everybody who does a day trip, their day trip is to the Everglades. That's one of the, the number one day trips, of visitors to our area. So very important component of our offering, that opportunity for them to go and explore the Everglades. So terrific. Now, Pamela Johnson, our Deputy Director, is going to give us an update on the strategic plan.
Good morning, Council. It's my pleasure this morning to give you a one-year update as to where we are with our strategic plan. So, and before I talk a little bit about it, I just want to go back for a moment to get to this point. So, as you know, our strategic plan represents months of data collection and industry collaboration. The process began in 2012 with one-on-one interviews with industry partners, as well as collaborative meetings with other stakeholders, business leaders, civic leaders, etc. And what came out of this is our strategic plan. And simply put, obviously, the plan answers 3 simple questions. Where are we now? Where do we want to be in 3 years' time? And how are we going to get there? So with that, I've been asked to make this brief in the interest of time. Council members, you do have the full packet in front of you. Audience does not have it. I apologize for that. So the imperative number 1 is develop the tourism pipeline. And I just want to say on this, by the way, everything in green is what I'm talking about today. We did do a 6-month update. And so now we're at a year, and that's what I'm presenting today. So we are We did commission the Leisure Traveler Market Assessment Study, and that information will be presented to you within the next few months. So that we are really excited about that study and what it's going to show. Again, with what Clayton and Laura presented this morning, developing that pipeline is extremely important. So we are looking forward to sharing some upcoming information with you. Again, the second imperative is grow shoulder and off-peak visitation. Clayton and Laura did a fine job of talking this morning about what we're doing and working towards that, so I won't spend a lot of time on that. I'll go on to the imperative number 3, which is protecting Lee County's natural assets. That continues to be very important to us in terms of it's why we are here. We need to protect what we have in order to keep visitors coming. And actually, one of these this plan, this imperative will be probably folded up into the county's bigger strategic plan. And then finally is making tourism a shared community imperative. You know that a month ago we had the great tourism travel rally that Judy and everybody organized, and it was a great success. And we are working towards, making that a regional effort. You did hear that at last month's TDC. There was one of the action plans in this last one, where I believe we have the greatest work to do, and that is developing community-wide objectives for intra-transit. That's really difficult for us because we are not as much in control of that. I did have the opportunity to sit in a workshop for Tamara in last month, or excuse me, was it early this month, Fort Myers Beach. Commissioner Kiker, you were there, and talking about transportation, particularly relative to the Fort Myers Beach area, and working with Florida Department of Transportation and a lot of other stakeholders to tackle the challenges of transportation on Fort Myers Beach. And there are some projects of studies going forward. We will continue to be engaged in that effort by having a seat at the table and adding our voice to that. So again, I just wanted to make a brief update to let you know, as with our mission, this is in the forefront of our mind and providing you updates as to where we stand in terms of the strategic plan. And I'd be happy to answer any questions if anyone has any for me. All right. Thank you.
I think the simple answer is we're on track, but we just want to remind you that we're on track, and those are the things we're still focused on.
Well, just a matter of old business. We're gonna need a motion on this one, and this is the. Did you have anything you want to introduce to that?
Actually, we do need to very briefly do one component of it.
Yes. Thank you. I just wanted to recap. On May 28th, the Events Marketing Subcommittee met and reviewed the projects. We did have 11 apply, and only 9 were eligible this year. Pam Cronin chaired the committee along with council members DePasquale, Affordant, Margallo, and Ruane. So in front of you are the list of events. There are 9, and they have. We are recommending formalization of funding in the amount of $150,000. There is one event that a council member has a conflict with, so I'd like to pull out the Florida Gulf Coast University 8th Annual Sanibel Island Writers Conference and have you vote on that separately first, and then you can make a motion to move the balance of the funding.
I will abstain from that, please.
Okay. Is that going to take us below form?
Still on that one. We may have to vote on that particular one next month because we only have 5 council people here, but I think let's go ahead and approve the balance, and we'll just bring that one back. We'll have to.
Okay, so we're going to pull the Sanibel Writers Conference and vote on that in August.
Oh, we're not voting.
Correct? So if I guess if we can have a motion to move the balance of the 8 events from just above that all the way up to the top for the balance of funding if we can approve that today, that would be great.
Second.
Motion by Renee and a second by Colleen. Is there any discussion, objections? Motion carries.
Thank you for all your efforts on the review.
So we will finalize this at our August meeting, because we aren't having a meeting in July. But I don't think, I mean, I realize it's a numbers issue today. So you'll send our apologies to Sanibel and Nancy.
Okay, with that, next item is a Harborside update, and I'm going to share this story with Tamara, if I may. And this is one that TDC did review several months back. Along with that, they came back to the Board of County Commissioners, probably in a little bit different light in terms of the request was that they just wanted something to happen for Harborside. There's a couple of things that were different for the board than yourself. And the first one was any association with the development was taken out of it. This is strictly we need to upgrade Harborside. That's it. And the request, again, was for $4 million. And the board was receptive to that. And again, the difference was they didn't identify TDC funds as where they wanted the money to come from, but where can we fund it? And they gave that back to us. So the board accepted the project and instructed staff to work with their staff to figure out how can we best accommodate, or if we can accommodate, in line of the budget that we're putting together for next year, which, by the way, last year, I think our budget for the board was completed maybe a week, was it a week, before we voted on it. Mr. DeGillet is not here right now, but we're on our second version of it already, going into July. So we're about 4 months ahead of where we were last year. This includes all the constitutionals, et cetera. So made some huge progress. I wish Roger was here and we could congratulate him here personally. But having said that, the request was for $400,000 a year over a 10-year period to the total of $4 million, and that's a matching fund. And one of the two of the questions that we have, one is whether or not it would come as a grant or a loan to the city, or if it was just simply going to be that we're going to let them have the money. And along with that, they're actually putting together an ROI business case of where we might spend the money, what we get back for it, etc. So it's kind of it's not new ground for most of you, but it is for us. It's going along pretty good, and I think the town's pretty excited about it. I'm sure if Forrester was here, he'd amplify that. Is there anything else you want to add to that?
Just wanted to add that the city did have a workshop with the hotel developer, and there were some illustrations of the proposed development, and we went ahead and included those in your packet just so you would be able to see where they were going. Pamela also attended that workshop. It seems like I missed everything when I was on my vacation, didn't I? A couple of big things happened, but Pamela was able to join in on that workshop, and we just wanted to share with you. You know, the city is definitely moving forward, but the county component, whether the county, gives funds towards Harborside as requested, is still something that is being worked on.
But I'm understanding you correctly, Commissioner, that these will not be TDC funds, correct?
As of right now, they're not. They are not.
Because that's been our problem all along, hasn't it? You know, the Harborside Event Center, which used to be the Harborside Convention Center, was so named because about 90% or 95% of their business is all local. And our money's supposed to be spent on bringing people from outside to put heads in beds, but so that's where I have a little hang up with TDC money being used. I mean, if they could show me that over 50% of the Harborside business was outside our 3-county area, I'd look at it differently, but it's not. So.
Well, it's not. It's actually, what you're talking about is not unique. And, just from where I sit, we continually have folks that I have a project and we want that money. We want money from TDC, or we have a project and we want it from 2020, or we have, they identify where they think the money should come from. We're trying to explain to them that's not how we're doing business. You come to us with the request Tell us what it is you need. Tell us what the justification for that is, and then let us do our job of finding out where the funding is. And that works in many ways. We had projects for infrastructure, if you will. There was $70 million worth of projects. Estero Boulevard, Alico Road, Homestead. These have been reprioritized, I can't tell you how many times. And finally, we got it across to staff. It's like, don't worry about the funding, just tell us about the projects. And then after that, we sent it back to staff, and lo and behold, we've got fully funded projects, $70 million worth inside 1 year. So it's just a different way of looking at business and making that. Jeff, you want to say something?
As you all know, I sit on this council at as the representative of the Lee County Hotel Association. I sit not only at your bequest, but also at the bequest of the Lee County Hotel Association, and they've asked me to read into this, if I may, at this time, a statement that they have concerning Harborside. So if you would not mind, I would like to read that if I could. The Lee County Hotel Association Board of Directors supports the proposed maintenance and upgrades to Harborside as an event center or a hotel convention center. We applaud the unanimous support of the Lee County Board of Commissioners and the Fort Myers City Council to help restore and improve Harborside. Pursuant to State Statute 125 that allows bed tax to be used for construction and maintenance of municipality-owned conference centers, it stipulates they must be owned and operated by the municipality. Leasing Harborside to a private developer would negate the city's ability to request tourist bed tax revenue. Therefore, while we support the concept of a quality downtown Fort Myers hotel as a critical element of the downtown redevelopment plan, we do oppose the use of bed tax dollars to support or subsidize any developer, new or old. Our board also would love to request the opportunity to discuss this amongst the TDC, and with the hopes that maybe the TDC would come up with a similar statement concerning this situation. Having said that.
Any comments on that? Anybody else have any comments or questions about the Harborside?
Would anybody want to, as a TDC, propose a statement that would support this at this time or discuss this issue?
If I may, I'm a little confused because I think we already gone through that, and I thought we had already said from a TDC viewpoint that it didn't qualify. So I don't know why we're
Well, I just want to make
revisiting
sure that, I don't know if we as the TDC have come up with a formal position on that, and have we or have we not?
I think we look at each situation, don't we, Tam? And then as each situation, and then we qualify whether it's available for funding each one. But I think Jeff's point is well taken. I think it just kind of enforces what we're doing. Whether we need to make a statement or whether we need to look at each individual request, just like you said, as the request comes in, we'll see if it qualifies and where you're going to get the money.
Right, and exactly right. And what we're hoping from this point going forward is people don't identify where they think the funding source should come from. It's just a matter of a project should stand on its own, with its own justification, and then it's the board's decision, if you will, in terms of where to get funding from. Maybe at that point in time, might be more relevant. But right now, I don't know that we're looking at TDC funds whatsoever.
That's great. We just wanted to bring that forward and
Yeah.
make that point known.
Right. How about this? If it does, I'll give you a call and we'll.
I'm sure you will. I have no doubt about that.
You might be giving you a call.
I have no doubt about that.
I have a feeling we'll hear from Andrea as well.
Yes, yes.
If we have a special meeting called Operation Jeff, then we're gonna.
Especially if I'm not invited to it, then I'll know.
Yeah,
something.
Operation Jeff, and Jeff's not invited. Okay.
Exactly, and we know something's going on. But anyway, I thank you for letting me read that in.
You bet. And that is now part of the record. And is there anything else that anybody would like to say on that subject? Yes, sir.
No, I'm
No? Okay.
scratching my ear.
Sold.
You didn't think I was paying attention, did you? Okay, the next item, again, I think is going to require a motion at the end of it. And Tamara?
Sure. In your packet, and hopefully you received it a few days ago, I sent you the proposed budget report for both the Visitor and Convention Bureau and the Sports Development Department for 2015. Just quick summary, I'll be very brief. You know, this budget was basically proposed at a very, very slight increase over the current year's budget. But if you'll remember, we had that mid-year budget increase. So you'll see advertising appears to be, in essence, flat. Most things are fairly flat, but we, took into account that we had done that mid-year budget increase and kind of held it, in essence, constant. So I would, obviously, this still has to work its way through the process of the county manager's office, the Board of County Commissioners, but it would be lovely to have your approval on the budget as proposed. And I'm happy to answer any questions as well. Bert or
I just had a couple of comments. I don't know
Okay,
if we have anybody from the clerk of courts here, but, I was reading through this, and it's amazing since they've been collecting this tax for us. They said the number of accounts that they're now handling, over 7,000. We're talking about in Orlando, for comparison, they're like 606. I mean, I think they deserve a kudo for what they're doing for us in collecting this bed tax. They're doing a fantastic job. So I just wanted to make that point. The other one is on the proposed budget breakdown. We have three major categories: advertising, contracts, and then I'll just say all others. But promotional support is kind of the largest one of the last categories, and yet it's all kind of lumped together, and it's over $500,000. Is it possible we might be able to break that out a little more than the little asterisk, PR support, press clipping, and et cetera?
Sure.
Is there anything in there that we should be looking? That's a big item.
I think it has gotten big. Over time as we've done more, added more PR support, et cetera.
Maybe a couple of subcategories
Yeah.
under it or something.
I think we could absolutely do
It
that.
just jumps at you, and it's almost like miscellaneous or other.
Yeah. No, I think you're absolutely correct. I think some of that's the way we've, handled growing without growing staff as we've added some contracts in that area. So I think that, yeah, absolutely. We'd be happy to do that, Renee.
With that, I'll second Fran's motion.
Okay. We got a motion by Fran and a second by Renee. Is there any other discussion on this? Any objections? Motion carries. I believe we're in the same situation with the
We
next
are.
one. We're going to need a motion on this one.
With that, we would like for you to formalize, you've now just, in essence, approved the attractions budget, which was one of the budgets in there. As you know, we work closely with the Southwest Florida Community Foundation on the attractions marketing budget. For the proposal for this next year is for that to be $250,000 and then $50,000 each for Edison Ford Winter Estates and the Conference and Convention Council. Again, all of this still has to go to the board, but we would like for you to approve that. That allows them to go through their grants process. So would love to entertain a motion.
We got a motion by Renee, second by Tony. Is there any other discussion? Is there any objections? Motion passes. And then you have information for us?
There's a lot of things in your packet, some great information, some data reports, et cetera. I hope you'll take the time to review those at your leisure. I apologize that I give you so many, but when I find something that I think is good, I say put that in the packet for them for the end of the month. So just some things for you to peruse, but nothing that I need to call attention to.
Thank you very much. And with that, we're going to ask each of the members if they have anything that they'd like to discuss, and we'll start with Joe.
Nothing today, thank you.
Well, thanks for coming. Jeff?
Just to remind everybody that on Thursday the 26th, the Lee County Hotel Association will be having its luncheon at the Hyatt Coconut Point in Bonita Springs. Our speaker is going to be Rick Michaels, who's the Executive Director of the Lee County Economic Development Office. Just because you're not a member doesn't mean you can't come, so everybody can come there. It's $25. And just go to the Lee County Hotel Association website and you can reserve. So whether you're a member or not, we'd love to have you.
Thanks, Jeff. Renee?
I know some people got a flyer, but just to remind everybody of the Florida Governor's Conference, where we always have a good time.
September.
Yeah. I think it's the same hotel we were at once before.
A few
Local
years
Grand
ago.
Resort Club.
I'm going to say
September
2007 or 8,
22nd,
somewhere in there.
24th.
Right.
So Those, besides being very worthwhile, they're always fun.
Renee always has fun.
I always.
And if you want to know where the good restaurants are, follow him. He does know. And you know what? Thank you very much for handling the meetings while I was gone. I look back at the minutes. I'm kind of glad you got to do that one. It looked like it was a lot of work. Appreciate it. Fran?
I don't have anything other than your airport news and notes are in front of you. And thank you, Carol. She's always here every meeting and brings those to us. And that's all I have.
Yeah. Andrea? Elaine?
The Chamber is
Just to get your
doing
attention.
a business building symposium on August 28th. It's at the Hyatt as well. You're very popular.
You are very
What can I say? It's the dogs.
It must be, yeah, they're great dogs. So if you want more information about that, we will have 9 breakouts, everything from marketing to operations to finance. We've been lucky enough to get the new franchise owner for College Hunks Hauling Junk, Stephen. He will be our keynote speaker. Our opening panel is Michael Wyatt, Samira Beckwith, Wayne Kirkwood. We've got some great people. So if you have an opportunity to spend the day with us, we'd love to have you that day.
Thank you. Tony?
Do I get to keep Rob's T-shirt that he didn't
You
show
do.
up? I do? Okay.
I'm looking
Good.
for a
That's-
blue.
That's a great, no, nothing to report.
On Rob's behalf, you just can't wear socks when you wear it. 'Cause I don't think they, I thought I was bad. He never wears socks. Well, with that, yes, sir.
Just as a reminder, in July, we do not have a meeting here, and in August, it will be at the Hyatt.
Wait, just all over
I'm
the
going to
place.
move in August. Yeah.
Thank you for your support.
3 rooms the night before.
Because I know what I know what happens.
Your place? That's great.
Oh, no,
Thank
no,
you,
that's
Tony.
too much of a drive.
Everybody shows up and says, "There's nobody here." Where did they
Right.
And you know, and he's going to have an open bar and everything. That's really
These
nice,
good
I
things.
thought.
Meeting's sounding better and better.
Yeah. Okay, well, with that, I'd like to thank everyone for being here, and to the board, thank you very much, and the meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.